Yeah, Kim, Alex, that meeting is actually still going on right behind us, but the school board president did tell us earlier today that they were not expecting to vote on anything tonight. Really, it's about public comment for these parents. More than 60 parents signed up to speak in public comment tonight. This is all about whether or not they would be in support of a mask mandate in schools. A vast majority of those parents that we heard from tonight, personally, that we heard in that meeting, were all about having a choice for their kids, whether or not to wear a mask in school. Now, the school board says it's also still really figuring out about whether or not they can do anything about that mask mandate legally if they were to move forward with anything on that. They do fall under Tri-County health orders, which does say schools cannot opt out of this new mask mandate. Thursday night's meeting started much like the school day.
We, as a public board, have to have an open discussion.
An open discussion on whether kids should be required to wear a mask at school.
How far is the parent community willing to go on this?
Troy Schroeder is the school board president for Aspen View Academy in Castle Rock. He sent out a letter to parents this week, not on behalf of the board, but he says of himself, in an attempt to lay out the options and consequences of what the school decides to do. In the letter, it lists option A as comply and enforce strict mask wearing at the school, B, do their best to comply and allow students and staff to have their choice to wear a mask, or C, ignore it altogether.
I will stand my ground. Please leave our children alone.
It pains me to see that our school is willing to go to such extreme measures.
But nothing was voted on Thursday night. A majority of it was just public comment. But it brings up the question of enforcement in schools across the Denver metro area. Tri-County Health says it's unlawful to violate orders and say they'd possibly seek a court order with the Colorado State District Court to enforce the mandate. Jeffco, Denver, Boulder Valley, Westminster, and Douglas County School District, all requiring masks in school. They tell us that they are not really seeing enforcement problems with students. DPS says district leadership would follow up with those who violate a mandate. As for Aspen View Academy, some parents say they just want to be heard. Now, tonight we also spoke with 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor about this issue and asked him if it were possible for a public health entity to do anything legally really about a mask mandate or take a school to court. Kim, he says that one thing that could possibly happen is that both sides would have to go and get what's called a declaratory judgment. Essentially what that means is going before a judge and having them decide what could be enforced.